Hey, good afternoon guys. I'm Kevin with Rhino Off-Road and welcome to the channel. I'm camping here at the base of the Eastern Sierra, right around the Alabama Hills, Lone Pine area, and as you can see behind me, the view is just incredible. The entire area here just went through Snowmageddon 2023, so there's a nice thin layer of snow over everything, but it's like 50 degrees outside, and I figured this was an awesome opportunity to do my next upgrade. It's here in this box. So during Black Friday, iKamper had a sale going on. They sent an email out, and I went to their site and saw that they were selling something called a conversion kit. So this allows you to remove your Skycamp 2.0 fabric from the shell and then install the brand new all black Skycamp 3.0 canvas and rainfly. What's great about this is you get about 95% of the upgrades that comes with the Skycamp 3.0 for a price of about, for me, $250 because I got it on Black Friday, or $500 any other time. I've put over 150 nights on the Skycamp 2.0 and I've absolutely loved it. When I saw this deal though, I couldn't pass it up. So what we're gonna do today is I'm going to take you through the removal and the install of the Skycamp 3.0 conversion kit, and then we'll talk about some of the features, the pros and cons and differences between the Skycamp 2.0 and the 3.0. So let's get started. Okay guys, so when you get the box, you're going to basically get three components. First, the new rainfly, which for now we're going to go ahead and set aside. Next, the tent fabric itself, which I'm actually going to leave in the box. And then attached to the bottom of the tent fabric, you're going to have this zipper panel, or whatever it's called. There's basically two of them. So you're going to have a really long one that goes around the perimeter of the hard shell, and then you're going to have a slightly shorter one that will go on the extension panel. So the instructions basically first have you unzip this from your fabric, and then we're going to take this and bring it over to the tent. I was gonna go right into a review of this, to be honest, but the sun is just about to set behind those mountains. So I think instead, I'm gonna capitalize on this. I'm gonna flip the Jeep around, make some coffee real quick, and I'm gonna enjoy the sunset. So I'll get back with you in a little bit.
I was born in the South with a twang in my mouth, where the honeysuckle wind did blow. The older I get by the day, I just miss how simple it was. Bare feet, we were 19, jumping in the water below. You and me were a summer's dream, singing like we never grow old.
Wow, guys, that view is just out of this world. I'm not sure the camera is doing it justice. I don't know that it ever really truly could, but Mount Whitney is right there. The sun is setting right behind it, and you have these clouds coming up over the top. Wow, this is just incredible. I was hoping to obviously have this done all in one go, where I'd install it and then we talk about it, what I like and what I don't like, but I'm running out of daylight. I still have to make dinner. So what I think I'm gonna do instead is switch gears, get myself squared away here at camp, and I think we'll pick up in my driveway and talk more about it there when we get back from this trip. So let's go there now. All right, guys, so a couple things you're gonna notice right off the bat here when you climb inside. The first one is the addition of this really cool pouch here. They basically sewed in a little pouch with a zipper that allows you to store all of your rods and your poles and everything right here. So that way you don't have to have that separate bag. And then additionally, the other thing you're gonna notice is that they've changed the design of the door. So instead of the canvas material being on the outside and the mesh material being on the inside, they've actually swapped it. So now you have the canvas on the inside and the mesh on the outside. It's actually the same theme with the windows. I was trying to think of a functional reason that it might make a difference one way or another, and I really couldn't think of one. It really shouldn't matter, but just something to note. All right, so we're gonna start at one of the biggest changes they made from the 2.0 to the 3.0 on the interior, and that is the window system. So check this out. As opposed to having stacked zippers like they had previously, where you had the canvas and the mesh and that acrylic or the clear plastic window all right on top of each other, meaning you could only do one at a time, they actually set them side by side. If you just want to open the canvas window, you use the interior zipper, open it up, and now you have the mesh and the outer window showing. If I close this back up and open the outer zipper first, I have now opened both the canvas and the mesh panels, which is really cool. Now, one thing you're gonna notice is the clear plastic window is gone. For some, I know this is probably a bit of a hot topic because it is really nice to be able to, protect yourself from the rain, be completely waterproof, and be able to see outside. However, that said, the one that I had was starting to yellow a little bit on my old fabric, and because it had been creased so many times, it was really hard to see out of it. But as of now, I really don't have an opinion one way or another. We'll see as I take this out more and more how big a deal that is. Now, the other cool thing they did is basically created a drawstring system. So what this allows you to do is quickly roll the exterior window up, and I'll show you how this works in a second. That way, all you have to do is secure the middle toggle here in order to actually have this window up and out of the way. So let me show you how this works. You have a drawstring on both sides that you pull, just like so. Tuck the material up out of the way, and then with these slides, you just slide it all the way up against the side of the canvas where they have two grommets. This effectively holds the window out of the way. Now, if you did want to get rid of this piece of fabric, they have a single center toggle here. All you have to do is roll it up, pull down the loop from the outside, and then feed this toggle through. The other nice thing, and this is, again, pretty insidious change, but they upgraded all these toggles, and they're a lot thinner, and I would say arguably way easier to use than the round barrel style they had in the previous one. And then also, all the zippers have been upgraded to YKK zippers. The other nice feature I noticed right away while I was propping up these windows is they've actually added grommets to the flaps where the poles or rods attached on the outside of the tent. This is really nice because generally speaking, especially if I'm doing this with one hand because I have to stand up in the back of my Jeep and in the front in order to get these attached, I have to try to loop it through the material, whereas now with a single grommet, it's going to be very easy to put the pole right through the material and get this window propped up out of the way. While we're at the window here, you'll also see that they upgraded the storage pockets they have below both windows. It's not remarkably different. I think the last one may have been 3 pouches and this is 2, but either way, biggest thing though is I did notice the fabric here is of higher quality, or at least it appears so. Also, I can confirm, with all the windows closed, it is much, much darker in here than the 2.0. Okay, so let's talk about the install. Took me about an hour and a half. Mind you, I was filming and out in the middle of Death Valley, but for you guys at home, this should take no longer than probably 45 minutes to an hour. And I think the really cool thing about this is that it doesn't include instructions. There is a video on YouTube you can watch on how to do it, but to be honest, as you remove your old fabric, kind of figuring out how the whole thing pieces together, you actually kind of teach yourself how to assemble the new one. This is what's great about it, is the conversion kit is literally just a 1-for-1 swap. So you'll take out the old one, you'll put in the new one, good to go. Looking at the features that come with the full-on Skycamp 3.0 that are upgrades from the 2.0. So first off, as we've already discussed, you get the brand new black colored canvas and rainfly material. The rainfly itself on the 3.0 is 75D material as opposed to 150D material on the 2.0. However, on the 3.0 it is impregnated with a water repellent coating. You're gonna get the new window system with the drawstrings, upgraded YKK zippers, a tent pole storage bag, new storage pockets next to the windows, 2.5-inch thick mattress versus the old 1.8-inch thick mattress on the 2.0. You're gonna get more room in the shell to store bedding, etc., because the physical size of the shell of the 3.0 is a 1/2 inch larger. You're gonna get a new latch design, grommets through the floor to route electronics. You're gonna get a color matched bag for the ladder feet. And then lastly, you're gonna get new badging set on the front and the rear. So what are you actually getting with the conversion kit? It's effectively the first half of this list. Everything inherent to the canvas and the rainfly material are things that you will get by upgrading from the Skycamp 2.0 to the 3.0 conversion kit. But that said, the bottom half of this list you're only gonna get by buying the full-on $4,200 Skycamp 3.0, or obviously its mini version. But what are most people gonna do that own the 2.0 that wanna upgrade to the 3.0? Well, they're probably gonna sell theirs, or at least attempt to. And as I've looked online, you can sell a full-size Skycamp 2.0 for around $2,500. So if you subtract out the price of a new 3.0 of $4,200, public math will say that's about $1,700 of additional cash layout you would need to upgrade. If you consider the fact that the conversion kit is about $590, we'll call it $600, that's about $1,100 difference. Yeah, the math checks. $1,100 difference. So now what we're really talking about is, are the bottom half of these features on this list really worth $1,100? So let's start with the mattress. At first off, this may seem like a big thing you're missing out on. It's a 2.5-inch thick mattress versus the 1.8, so we'll call it, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch difference in size. But I actually consider this a little bit of a disadvantage. Most people that I know have upgraded their stock mattresses to some kind of self-inflating mattress, either for my sake, or in my case, a Top or an X-Ped, or even iKamper now selling their own branded self-inflating mattresses. So here's the thing, with my Top, when it is fully collapsed, it is only 0.75 inches thick. When it's fully inflated, it's almost 4 inches thick. So it is actually thicker than the iKamper stock mattress when it's inflated, and it's thinner than the stock iKamper mattress when it's deflated. And what this allows me to effectively do is to pack more bedding in the tent. This leads into the next feature. So the Skycamp 3.0 again is a 1/2 inch taller, which will inherently allow you to store more bedding inside the tent. I'll post a link to the video up here that I did, but there are ways to store bedding inside of your Skycamp 2.0. And in fact, I leave a 2-person Kelty sleeping bag and 2 of my Top mattresses, as well as 2 full-size pillows in mine, and are still able to close it. Mind you, it would be very nice to have a little more room because it is a tight fit, and especially when your fingers are frozen because it's 10 degrees outside, it does take a little bit of work sometimes to fully get the tent closed. All right, so next, let's talk about the latch design. This is one of my biggest gripes with the Skycamp 2.0 and is probably my favorite feature of the 3.0. I had spent many of cold mornings trying to fish my fingers in between the bottom of the tent and the top of the roof rack in order to get the latch to close, obviously exacerbated by the fact that I try to keep my bedding in the tent. However, with the 3.0, they've actually redesigned it so now the latch connects from the bottom of the tent and you connect it to the side, just making it a lot easier in order to kind of put the pressure you need in order to get the thing latched. Additionally, with the 1/2 inch of increased size, makes it, generally speaking, just far easier to close bedding than the Skycamp 2.0. The last couple features on this list, to be honest, aren't ones I consider super crucial. They added a grommet to the floor so that you can feed wiring and cables down below to say like a Goal Zero or a Blue Eddy portable battery, allowing you to have power up in your tent. While at face value, this sounds awesome, but A, you could easily do this yourself if you really wanted to put a hole in the tent. But additionally, there already are flaps on the sides of the extension panels, which I use to feed my propane hose for my heater buddy down, and you can easily just feed a 10-foot USB extension down there as well. You're gonna get a new color matched bag for the feet of the ladder, and then lastly, you're gonna get the new 3.0 badging, which to be honest is way sleeker, a lot lower profile, which is why for 30 bucks, I think it's definitely worth it if you're gonna upgrade to the conversion kit. It also shows people that, hey, I've got some street cred, I've done some upgrades to my 2.0, though I was still too cheap to buy the 3.0. Yeah. At $600, I think the conversion kit is a no-brainer. At $250, I think it's an absolute steal, and here's why. Because if you look at the features that you miss out on by buying the conversion kit as opposed to the full tent, you can really kind of summarize the best features that you're missing out on as things that make it easier to close bedding inside the tent. But as we already talked about, if you watch my previous video or you just search YouTube for iKamper, how to close bedding inside the tent, you're gonna see a ton of awesome tips and techniques on how to do this with your 2.0. Now I happen to have a buddy Ian with DocWranger who has a Jeep just like mine and a Skycamp 2.0 like mine who also just installed the 3.0 conversion kit. So Ian, what are your thoughts on the install and what do you like and dislike about the conversion kit?
Install was super easy with this thing. It literally just, I didn't look at any videos, didn't watch any instructions, didn't read anything. All you do is just take off the old one, look how you took it off and put the new one on. And it took me an hour with shooting a bunch of videos. Maybe a 4-minute job would be my guess. It has new features that I like. One of the features I like the best is how the screen for the windows is integrated to the actual flap of the window. And so you don't end up having to roll it up and stow it. You can have them both closed together, open together. It's a nice little feature. The zippers are better. The blackout, actually, you know what? My favorite thing is how it's blackout. The fabric is thicker, and so you can wake up in the morning. This morning we slept until like 9 a.m. Had no idea it was daytime until we opened the windows. Rhino, thanks for putting me in your video. I would absolutely get this thing again.
Dude, thanks for your input. I totally agree with you. It is really nice having brand new fabric on your tent. You know, this thing's about 2 years old now, but I feel like I have a brand new tent ready to go for this camping season. I'm excited to bring this thing out to Death Valley this summer. I will have it out on the coast as well. I'm gonna be having my family in it, so I'm excited to bring you guys along and in future videos talk about what my thoughts are after having used it for a while. I hope you all found this helpful. If you did, please hit the subscribe button. If you haven't, like this video if you did, and leave any comments or feedback you have in the old comment section below. Other than that, I'm Kevin with Rhino Off-Road, and we will see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.